here we are, another episode, Red Leaf for Retrocast, the last episode covering 2023. We're finishing out the year and starting the new year of 2024. Why not? Because I wanted to get this episode out in due time as the new year has just crossed, if that makes sense, with Wrestle Kingdom, the Stardom Gate show on January 4th, among other things, and all the year-end projects that I like doing. This episode is going to be essentially the best way I can put it is I'm going to race through a lot of the basic thoughts over a lot of the year-end stuff, particularly the shows, and the immediate New Year stuff before January 4th. Obviously, when it comes to my rankings and everything, anything that's covered after the New Year's is covered in for 2024. And I'm recording this straight after work on January 2nd. So when you listen to this, hopefully it's right there. And a lot of recent things hitting. But first, there will not be any retro wrestling reviews on this particular episode due to all the holidays and the New Year festivities and all that. And the fact that I spent a lot of time with my friends and enjoying myself for the time off. So that's the thing there. And God knows I'm not going to watch WCW in the year 2000 during my vacation holiday time, right? No way. AJW, yeah, it's just a little time off. So the Tag League Finals of 94 will kick us in, and noticing that the Aja Kong Manami Toyota title match that happens in 95 is not covered on the Classics, so got to shuffle some things around there. What's going on the Patreon? Well, it's still Joshi 2010's journey. Just covered Reina, the very first episode. It was a crossover episode with Wave, or show, mind you. And I really enjoyed doing that one. It brought a lot of perspective on possibly what's going to happen with women from Mexico, in particular AAA, and with Shuri and Kana, as has been a big question mark on the scene, with three wrestlers in particular. It's Shuri, Kana, and Ayumi Kurihara. And what will this do to open up possibilities for them once the Tajiri promotions close down, as they do? Just released an LLPW episode, and the saga of Mickey Honda continues. So that is Ladies Legends Pro Wrestling 1995, right then and there, following the Eagle Sawai title win, her finally getting that, and the story involving a lot of the two Machikos that are there, and the heel turn that is Mickey Honda. Things are developing. Those are the main things, and of course there's Pure J every month. JPQ and I do it. We just did a preview episode over the Cork and Hall show that happened in December, so look forward to the next week or so on the Patreon, patreon.com/RedLeafRetrocast, for the show covering how Pure J did in 2023 and how they finished the year and what our expectations are for 2024. That'll be a fun episode coming out in the next week or so. All right. At the end of this episode, once I've finished my romp through the scene and everything that I watched, because I did watch a lot of wrestling, a lot of modern stuff, a lot of things finishing out the year. At the end of it, you will hear, think of it as like fun bonus audio. Rickee, her blocks can consist of her and her can't say husband because they're not technically married. Partner, her and her partner, kind of go through their top matches of all while I am massively wasted for the holidays, and I had just bowled a 300 game the day they happened to visit. So yes, I bowled a perfect game. I was drunk out of my mind. Hopefully I don't say anything too bad, but if you hear me slurring and just being ridiculous, that's a little bonus audio at the end. It's like 30 minutes of just utter nonsense from me. And yeah, good debut for for Jason there. That'll that's just a little fun thing I threw in. But yeah, my second 300 of 2023, my last game of 2023, believe it or not. That was a lot of fun to do. So I finished the year, sports-wise, with picking up golf, breaking 100, breaking 45 once, and throwing 2 perfect games, one in front of my dad and one in front of Rickee, so that was really fun, and 6 800 series. So I had another successful bowling calendar year for 2023. It was a great success for me, and the 300 was no question this time around. As you know, I bowled the 299 a couple weeks ago. Not doing that a second time in a month, so that was nice. Okay, so I'm gonna play. I'm just gonna play a slew of drops as I go through the podcast here, and we're gonna have some fun. Definitely some fun. Here we go.
Speed star, it's lightning in the jungle.
Okay, so yes, Dragongate, fun little Masato Yoshino drop there. Dragongate had their final gate show in Fukuoka, 2,286 people. Low house for them, as has been the year. And as you know, I dropped Dragongate about halfway through the year officially. I just was not moved by this promotion, and I have watched their main events. I have kept up with their big shows. Obviously, with alternative means, I canceled the network. And no different here for Final Gates. But with the year-end shows, I want to see, kind of what they're pumping out in the semi and main events for these shows, and what the vibes are, what the feels are, what's the heat factor, heat check-in for Dragongate, and among other promotions. But with Dragongate, it's still a lot of the same to me. The Twin Gates situation, it was vacated. It's very messy, and I thought this card was very underwhelming. When you have, look, I'm not going to sit through a Hio Bravegate match, just not doing it. I find him incessantly boring. And then when there was a Triangle Gate match involving Punch Tomonaga, not sitting through that either. Don't need to put myself up through that. Do they have more rookies out that may quit in the next year? Sure. Dragongate's never had an issue with getting rookies into their system. It's more or less keeping them. How do you do that? But Alejandro and Kaito Kiyomiya win the vacant titles over Kota Minoura and Benkei. So just a 13-minute match, really nothing. And another indicator for Dragongate is there's only 2 matches with votes on Cage Match, like enough for it to have a rating, and this one's got 6.75. So a little 3-star match for, I don't know, their second, third, whatever, biggest show of the year. I guess Dead or Alive is bigger, but for Final Gate, it's not how you kind of want to end the year, with just a basic tag match that kind of leads to nothing, and more questions around Kaito Kiyomiya, right? We'll get to him more later. And the main event, built around, speaking of Dead or Alive, but speaking of it was the cage match that involved Diamante losing his mask and getting, quote-unquote, betrayed by Shun Skywalker. Well, they booked a 3-way for the Dreamgate title. I think Madoka Kakuta has been an extremely underwhelming champion during his time of the matches I've seen. Not even as good as Yuki Yoshioka, who I thought his matches were good, but he himself didn't move me kind of situation. So here we are, and I mean, shit, he's cutting promos at the end of shows saying, "I'm sorry for the small house," right? Not a lot of people showed up, oops. But they did a 3-way elimination, which is what I hoped AEW would have done with the Continental Classic if you're going to book a 3-way. Make it an elimination match. But Shun Skywalker gets DQ'd in the first 20 minutes, so it took forever with Shun just doing heel shit. And it's a lot of the, RED, Z-Brats nonsense that we've seen time and time again. Lots of chairs, lots of ref bumps. I really did not like the first 20 minutes of this 28-minute match, at all. And then once Skywalker was DQ'd and out of there, it was Luis Monte and Kakuta having a nice little 8-minute match. It's got a 7 on Cage Match, didn't move me. And Luis Monte is the new champion. What does this mean for Dragongate? I don't know. I don't think they lose anything by putting the title on him. But I also don't think they gain much. I think they'll still get their little 1,000 people Corkins. They'll pop their 4 houses a year as best they can, and that's what they're going to do. Because if you look at the year-end kind of totals for attendances of, in terms of Dragongate, it's Corkins and their big shows. Even with their inflated numbers that they were posting in 2023 for the majority of their shows, they're still under Stardom, who had a down year comparatively, and that's only Stardom doing pay-per-views. I took their Corkins separately. In terms of 1-to-1 for Corkins against each other for the promotions, they're pretty much even. But as far as I know, Stardom didn't inflate their Corkin Hall numbers, so they're lower than Stardom there. And as we go through into the new year, it was immediately announced Shun Skywalker is challenging Luis Monte, I believe, at Corkin Hall. So they might just flip the title right then and there, back to Shun Skywalker. And with this heel character, they had him have the title before. I don't see much value in him having the same shtick character that produced those very poor matches that I wasn't into, despite him being kind of one of my favorite dudes in Puro, in wrestling, but him just in this heel gimmick with the crazy laughter doesn't do much for me. So that's a little Dragongate action there. Oh my god, next. Noah the New Year. Holy shit. So, this was the questionable decision of how it looks when you go into the year with your GHC title in the semi-main over a specialty match. And there's always going to be, at least in my terms, criticism of that, of I understand why you're doing it. You think it's the drawing match, you're going to do it. You're going to put it there. However, it gives a bad look to their promotion. So typical Noah stuff, right? And they paid for it dearly on this show, filled with New Japan guys up and down the card, trying to help draw the house. Look, they got a inflated 5135 at Ariake. I don't think that's a true 5135. How inflated it is, I guess we can estimate on our own there, but it's a questionable number of its value or trueness. Where the show did well was the New Japan guys, right? Tomohiro Ishii defeats Masa Kitamiya in a 15-minute match. I went 2 out of 3 on that one. That one was good. I would say just under 4 stars. And the same would go for Keno and Manabu Soya, which went almost 30 minutes. Went 28 and a half. I went just under 4 on that one as well, because I like watching Keno. He's a fun guy to watch. And I watched this very early in the morning at work, just getting back, and then the main event comes on. It's Kota Ibushi and Naomichi Marufuji. I love both these guys, especially in their primes. The unfortunate thing is when Ibushi's announcing publicly that he has a broken hand and I think it was a right ankle specifically, heading into the match, along with him just not looking like himself throughout his return in 2023. And Marufuji's been pretty much cooked for years. Maybe he can get a good match every now and again, namely kind of working the Will Ospreay, but it's Will Ospreay. Well, they go out there for 33 minutes, and I feel like I'm the generous one, like a pity 1 out of 3, because to me it did have a big fight feel. And it pretty much had the match I expected it, minus Ibushi blowing out both his ankles in the match completely. Could you construe this as he's selling really well? I guess. It's certainly not larger than a 3-star match, and Cage Match has ripped this apart. It's got a 0.53 rating on Cage Match. To many, it was a dud. It was an embarrassment. It was concerning. People at Noah need to be held accountable for putting on this main event, knowing Ibushi went out there the way he was. Again, typical Noah shit, right? At the 15-minute mark, Ibushi goes for his triangle moonsault deal. Of course, doesn't leap right, which he hasn't hit in ages correctly. And he lands awkwardly on the front, I can't call them soles, the front edges of his feet, and you just see him crumple. And this man can't walk for the remainder of the match. He's still somehow propping himself up because he's Kota Ibushi and he's a trooper that way. But this guy's got 2 broken ankles. You got to stop the match. You know, if it's a shoot and he's going to the hospital and everything. Marufuji, because of the fact he can't go like he used to, he can't get a good match out of this guy. He's trying to kicks. He's trying to chops. They're going through their motions. No reaction for the Ibushi no-selling routine that he tends to do in his matches these days. Well, it's been like 2 years, but you get the idea. And he's just crumpling in the ring, and it's very sad to watch. And, I mean, the reaction that I saw on the various social media platforms and these cage match reviews here, it's how I feel watching a lot of older, like, women's wrestling. Right? Seeing Aja Kong trot out there and she can hardly walk with her knees. And yeah, okay, she can have people run into him, but she's also, well, like Oz Academy and stuff, they're still been put in the main events, and watching like Mayumi Ozaki trot around the ring. In the case of Ibushi, it was watching a dude immediately break down in his first singles match. And he's done. He's absolutely done. The guy can't stay healthy. The guy can't move like he used to. His body has changed tremendously, despite being in relatively good shape. Way better shape than all of us, obviously, but you get the idea. Like Marufuji's droopy. It's the droopy look, you know? Time waits for no man. So there's going to be a lot of discussion over this match in particular and how sad and embarrassing it was. I mean, it was a disaster. It was a complete and utter disaster. And after the match, when Ibushi pins Marufuji after the Kamigoye, in which he just collapses on Marufuji. I get what they were going for, but it also looked terrible with the collapse, like an actual body disintegrating between them both. And so he just collapses, can't even like stand and raise his arms, and out trots Jake Lee, Mr. Victorian Renaissance himself. He's got some clues to find, and one of the clues is, he's disappointed in Marufuji losing the match to an outsider of Noah. And Kaito Kiyomiya also comes down, walks right by him, doesn't acknowledge Marufuji. Bear in mind, there's also apparently a Go Shiozaki stable being made called Team Noah, and it's a bunch of like leftover nerds and dorks. This promotion. I pop in once in ages, and this is the dribble that they give me. So, Jake Lee motions for Ibushi to leave the Noah ring. Get out of here. Like, okay. Kaito Kiyomiya stands off in the corner, staring blankly. Okay. Bear in mind, I guess he did win the 10-man tag elimination of Team Noah against House of Torture, which is okay. Crowd really reacted to Kiyomiya kicking Evil off the top rope. It's funny. But anyways, so Ibushi hobbles out, and they're trying to do this story where Jake Lee doesn't want the camera to film him, and Ibushi's falling and falling. He can't stand. Slowly walking out, doing all the poses. So he leaves. Jake Lee gets, and he proceeds to cut a just long, bizarre promo about Noah and what it means, and he's going to go after the title. And I'm just thinking, dude, not another reign from you, motherfucker. No, it does not need you to do what you just did earlier in the year, and the tanking attendance, which was expected post-Muto. So then after his long, drawn-out promo, Kiyomiya's left in the ring. He says he's going to save Noah, and that's it. It's like, okay, I don't know what's left, but all right. Save Noah by going to Dragongate and winning some tag titles in a poor semi-main. Great. Bad show. 2 good matches. The rest was meh or bad. I forgot to mention the great Sakuya. Fucking Riko Kawahara in face paint. 13-minute match to end by DQ. Like, are you joking me? Nagasu Nozaki, Umasaki, Takase are in this thing. It's all a hodgepodge presentation of trying to get some Muto nostalgia thing going on. It's not going to work. These things never do. You know, you can see some people being excited. It's like, oh, look how special it is to be given such a great gimmick. You're not the true successor. You're a knockoff. I mean, that's... Anyways. Lex Express didn't work, guys. Great Sakuya is not going to be any different. Especially when it's put in a mid-card and putting on a bad match with a bad finish. All about shtick. Okay. Let's continue the somber note. Let's head on over to All Japan Pro Wrestling. My God. Here we go. And over in AJPW, the worry that their promotion is working with WWE directly is affecting them greatly. So, the good news is, when it came to Mania X on December 31st, Katsuhika Nakajima defeated Kento Miyahara in an excellent 26-minute Triple Crown match. I didn't put it on the same level as their first encounter, but it's damn close. Between the dual matches of Ospreay Omega and Nakajima Miyahara this year, it's like a 1-2, wipe your hands. Amazing how much this worked out. Just incredible stuff there. The rest of the card you can pretty much skip through. Not for me. A lot of like 2.5, 3-star matches. You know, whatever. You're not missing much. The main thing is the main event. The worrisome part is the Yuma Anzai and Charlie Dempsey dichotomy going on here, but we'll get to that on the Korakuen show, which I threw on after the Noah New Year's thing. But Nakajima Miyahara, they just beat the shit out of each other. It's very clear. Lots of kicking. Nakajima was doing a kind of Ollie Inoki kind of tribute. How he comes out, how he's dressed. He's got the old manager. He's dropping to the ground, doing big kicks. And slowly but surely, he's breaking Miyahara down. And Miyahara is throwing blackout knees left and right. Amazing stuff. It's definitely my kind of match. It's an easy 3 out of 3 recommendation. No question. One of the best matches of 2023. And Nakajima taps this dude out, which really shocked me. So this guy looks like he's going to be in All Japan for the foreseeable future. And he's got a match against Charlie Dempsey at Korakuen Hall. But the bigger, grander news that's affecting this promotion is not just the fear of the WWE NXT relationship that seems to be developing. It is the falling out of another figure in Puro. And look, money's not great. Everyone's down, respectively. Well, despite attendances being raised here and there in some cases. When these things start to happen in businesses, we saw it with Ice Ribbon happen firsthand. Talent gets restless. Management starts making questionable moves that also affects talent. And then when the people start hearing that the talent are upset with management or your workers, then the people will revolt in kind. It's a roller coaster event with dominoes kind of going on top of it and falling on top of each other. So Ishikawa's leaving the promotion. Yoshitatsu's leaving the promotion. A few other guys, Hayato, I think. Which, honestly, maybe not the worst thing for All Japan to be cutting kind of the older weight like this and start focusing on the younger talent, which has got them back to the party in 2023, so to say. So, ironically, it's not the worst event that could happen because a lot of those guys leaving perhaps have no value or have little value in 2024 for the promotion going forward. Maybe that's the solution. But when you start watching, okay, let me see, 2,600 for Yoyogi, so a nice little house for AJPW here. But then we go to the Korakuen on January 2nd, same day as the Noah show, 1,008 at Korakuen Hall, with big prelude tags for Nakajima, Charlie Dempsey. There's Yuma Anzai across the ring from Hideki Suzuki. They had a wacky battle royal. Dan Tamura with the junior title against Hikaru Saito. I only watched the Nakajima thing for that, and to see what happened with Actress Girls on the show, because I originally wasn't going to watch this show at all, but then I saw more online chatter, and bizarre reactions, expected reactions, but bizarre ones nonetheless, for what was happening in AJPW at this Korakuen Hall show, where crowds booing the president as he comes out. The talent hate Actress Girls coming into this promotion when, Sawama has his little Evo project, but now they're trying to utilize, essentially, from what I could tell, they want to utilize these women as kind of pieces to look at, and they're taking up space on the card from the rest of the All Japan roster. So this Misa Matsui Natsumi Sumikawa match against Asako Miya and Mika Ono got just deadpan reactions from the crowd. They do not care. And so trotting women out like this to a crowd cold grass, and you're going to get a frost reaction. You're going to get ice cold reactions, and you're going to get pushback. That's exactly what happened. So president getting booed. People don't like the president bringing in Actress Girls in here. Actress Girls gets a bad reaction towards that, along with the president getting booed. And then you get later what you're pushing with this awkward WWE crossover with Nakajima defending the title against Charlie Dempsey. When Nakajima and Yuma Anzai get in the ring, it's straight fire. People want to see that. That's the match people want to see. And then Charlie Dempsey gets in the ring, a guy with no cred, no notoriety. He's on like fucking NXT Level Up. It's not even on TV. How do you think the crowd's going to react? It's just straight crickets. No one cares. And he's a young guy just getting put in this position because it's WWE. It doesn't sit right with fans. And I understand that. And they reacted in turn for it. So, and the match ends with Dempsey pinning Nakajima, which, yes, okay, the challenger needs credibility, pins the champion, but this is an NXT nobody doing this to someone you've have come into this promotion strong, as pushed and protected as a star could be, winning the title convincingly against Aoyagi, a guy you've pushed over the last number of years, just manhandle Miyahara around the ring twice in a year, and then just to start the new year with this nobody coming in and pinning Nakajima, it doesn't sit right with fans again. It gives them a sour taste. So, Noah, AJPW, and Dragongate not really giving me a lot of confidence as we enter 2024 here, despite having a good match or two where it counts for my match guides and rankings, but in terms of, am I going to watch this promotion in the future? I don't know. I mean, AJPW was pretty close to grabbing me in with a lot of their momentum and good moves that they're doing. Well, they have stopped the momentum very hard, exiting 2023 and starting it this year. Arm's length, for sure. Okay. Time for CMLL. Much more exciting show, to say the least. Here we go. CMLL, man, easiest pay-per-view service you can do. or you just subscribe to their YouTube channel for memberships. Very easy stuff. But on let's see, there was 2 shows I watched. I watched the Super Viernes December 29th, and then I actually went ahead and got the Sin Salida 2024. Everything's in Mexico City, Reno, Mexico. Cutting in the new year. First things I watched was CMLL, which was nice. So I'll just start with the January 1st show. Mask versus Hair 16-man cage match was very wacky. Just a lot of bodies getting thrown around. Shakasito loses the hair. I had no conception to why this match was good or exciting, or what the... I mean, it's a dude losing his hair at the end. I'm like, okay, I'm not really familiar with a lot of the guys in the match. If it was Mascarada Dorada losing his mask, I'd be like, oh, okay, way more into it. But, you got 16 guys flying around in the cage. It was kind of wacky. I had fun. More importantly, though, was the women's match. Andromeda, Reina, Assis, and Tessa Blanchard defeating Marcella, Vacker, and Zeuxis. Yes, Blanchard is still in this promotion. I was questioning whether she was going to stick around in CMLL after the Vacker match and angle, and even the post-match. But here they are in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And I thought they did a very solid job. Little 1 out of 3. Nothing larger than a 3-star match kind of deal. Andromeda looked great. Did botch very much. She's always someone I want to pay attention to and see develop as we move on. And there was a cool lightning match between Mascarada Dorada defeating Angel de Oro. Love this. 8 minutes. Just dudes flipping and flying around. It's exactly what you expect. It's good lucha. 1 out of 3 there. Angel de Oro, man. That guy. Mascarada Dorada is awesome. If Volador, Templario kind of dropped off. He wasn't really featured a whole hell of a lot at the year end. And Atlantis Jr. fell off, but if Volador Jr. didn't have the year he had, it was the year of Rocky Romero and Mascara Dorada for 2023. Incredible years there. So then we get to the December 29th show, so we're backtracking here. Sold Out Arena Mexico. I think they announced 16,000 something, just crazy. They ran 5 shows in the span of a week, and every one of them got above 7,000. It's crazy. All in the same venue. And the show was very good. I think it accomplished everything it was going for, with a great main event, a great women's match. Mystico was stupid over. And then a trios match kind of in the undercard there. I mean, I did end up watching it, and very simple lucha. Everything's 2 out of 3 falls there in the undercard. Zandokan Jr. doing big man goofy shit against Finge, Fugas, and Star Black. A little long, 15 minutes, but I think it accomplished what it wanted to. I won't recommend it, but it was fine. Then you had Mascara Dorada, Mystico, and Titan. Just baby faces, Technicos, flying all around the ring against Los Infernales. Solid. 3 stars? Why not? 15 minutes. But where it went off was Stephanie Vacker and Jaro Cheetah. 14.5 minutes. And I definitely have such a much different perspective than I think people on Cage Match see, or even Wrestling Data. Wrestling Data rated it really high. I think it was 5 out of 6 stars. But in terms of what I expect, out of this style is probably better to say. It's a different sort of match, and when I get a match of just hard-hitting, going at it more than a 10 minutes, it tends to hit me harder in terms of what I think of it. It's kind of like when I first started watching Puro and was kind of blown away. It's always in athletics, how they put a match together, how they string moves together in a more energy fashion, which I appreciate. And considering the women a lot of the time, especially in Mexico, they can't do corkscrew tornillos as fast as Dorado or even Mystico to an extent. Or hell, even the Volador match had more spectacular moves. But when it comes to Vacker and Jarachita and the match they put on, I just thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was a top 10 women's match outside Stardom this year. What's always missing in a lot of these matches in Mexico is the false finishes. They don't go into it too much. You might get one where you don't expect it, but once a person hits their move, it's done. Like, it's over. And I kind of really appreciate that. It's still more on an older philosophy side of how to put matches together. So I do go into these expecting difference. Now, would I still rate this higher if they had a couple more false finishes? Yeah, absolutely. And despite that, I'm still going, 4.25, 4.5 stars on this Vacker Jarachita match. I think 4.5 is probably pushing it. Maybe even 4.25. But in terms of like what I was able to see in 2023 from women's wrestling, Vacker Jarachita put on a clinic that I was very excited while watching, and the finish was very definitive. And I thought the Vacker Juvia match from just a month ago was very much in the same realm of that physicality that I like seeing. Jarachita brought it even more because she's a much thicker woman that can throw Vacker around more. I mean, when Vacker does her springboard, and she does that earlier to the floor and just takes her out and kills her, when she does it again and they're sitting on the ramp and Jarachita just catches her and then does a DVD on the ramp, I'm like, man, we're continuing to go and we're going hard. And I absolutely love it. Vacker does get the double knees, and she lifts this big woman up for the package breaker. I was floored by the strength and the balance. Like I said, full 3. I love it. 7.4 on Cage Match. I'm obviously much higher on it than this. So it's a must watch for me. And then Volador Jr. and Andrade El Idolo. 14 minutes. Story is, one guy left. He's back. Let's see who's better. Very simple. And they did fucking so many flips and hurricanranas and going into it, and the finish caught me off guard. Where Volador does this wacky counter out of the corner, and it's like this corkscrew Canadian Destroyer deal that just pins Andrade. And I was blown away by the bumping in the match in particular, where they're both just getting thrown at barricades and flipping over into the crowd like it's like a slinky down the stairs. Again, blown away. 3 out of 3 match. One of the best matches in Mexico this year. I don't think I'm putting it as quite as high as, say, Mascarada de Rocky Romero from a month or so ago. Certainly not as high as, no, there's a few others, but this was right up there. And further, like, for CMLL to end the year with this big Andrade match and Volador going over, very enjoyable. So strong show. So yes, after all of that, with Noah, All Japan Pro Wrestling, Dragongate, it's CMLL that gets the heavy praise with how the women's wrestling worked out on all the shows, and a main event that incredibly delivered with no bullshit in the middle. So, and no one's angry at the promotion presidents. But yeah, shit, there's New Japan, and Okada's kicking guys out like Ovechkin, prime Washington Capitals era. That's where we're at. Okay. Time for AEW. That'll probably take a break, but here we go. AEW World's End. I don't know, guys. So, not doing this with Rickee. We'll get her thoughts next time she comes on. But the conclusion of the Continental Classic. Look, you make no bones about it. I did not like Full Gear. I thought it was right down there with AEW All Out 2020 for worst pay-per-view of this promotion. And they're on a 2-game losing streak with me. Not quite 3, because the Wembley main event was junk, but the rest of the show was great. Well, yeah, anyways. We start out with the 0 Hour, Will and I mean, it was just a slew of matches throughout this show. And I went in with the 0 Hour, and there's such a long stretch of just nothing happening. And we start with Statlander and Willow Nightingale going 13 minutes and having a disaster of a match, which was really sad, where they just start botching things one after another, and particularly the finish was horrid, so that didn't work out. A boring battle royal, 14 minutes, Kill Switch wins, Luchasaurus. So you kind of get what they're going to go at there. And the key words through this battle royal was a right to challenge at any time. I didn't take anything by it at the time, because AEW's never done anything where you essentially have to call your shot. You can't just take advantage of someone like Money in the Bank. Hook and Wheeler Yuta had a we hit each other with shit match, which not into. I thought it was nothing. So we're at a 1.5 to 2.5 star base here. You know, all elite wrestling. There's not a lot of elite wrestling going on. So then the show starts, and we have the 8-man tag, one of 2 of these that are on the show, and it's the rest of the people in the Continental Classic against each other. And look, the match was fine, but this is pay-per-view. You want to run this match on Dynamite? I'm all for it. You want to get people on a pay-per-view card? Do it, I think, in a more interesting way. Yes, Garcia ends up pinning Lethal with the jackknife cover, sinks it in. Same thing he pinned Brody King with to spoil him. But a 17-minute, the match was good. Okay? 3.5, 3 3/4, however you want to feel on that. And I'm like, all right, maybe this will pick up. And until the last 3 matches on the show, so we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 match stretch of just god-awful, boring wrestling. With just weird shit in the middle, just throwing off the whole vibes and feel of the show. And it just didn't stop. It was just one thing after another. No, we didn't have the Full Gear just garbage of MJF hijacking the show with Attitude Era nonsense. Instead, we got you can't call it a sports presentation. It was just trotting out matches like it's NWA in 1978. We need pace, we need energy, and I was just begging for it forever. Miro and Andrade have just a dull as dirt junk match with CJ Perry out there screaming about her finger. All for a weird ass swerve of her helping Miro. It's dumb. It was dumb and boring. Tony Storm and Riho have a boring 12-minute match. Just nothing happens. Luther was there, sort of. The Swerve Dustin Rhodes match, I thought, was a waste of my time. Because the crowd only wants to cheer for this guy. The Keith Lee match was pulled. And so they're like, oh, Dustin Rhodes is going to replace him. I'm like, okay, why? I get you want to have Swerve on the pay-per-view, but we can get a little bit more creative than this. And their idea was, we're just going to do a Raw angle match to kill time. Swerve takes Dustin's leg out with a cinder block, and it's just going on and on of him just not, I gotta fight, guys, I gotta fight. And he gets in, and the crowd's chanting for Swerve to kick this guy in the head one more time, right? These things are not going to work when you present them incorrectly. This isn't what people wanted to see. This isn't what people paid for. So they have like a 10-minute match after the 5-minute schmozzes, and Swerve doesn't even tap him out with any sort of leg submission. Boring, again. Then we got the Chris Jericho 8-man tag against Don Callis family. And this was just botch central. Just nothing's going right. The Chris Jericho thing online took off, and it affected a good chunk of the crowd. And look, they could not wrestle their way out of this. And when they're wrestling bad, now the crowd's going to boo for everything. And the Don Callis family thing has just been, I think, a complete miss at this point in time. And booking malpractice and things. It's too much about him and not about the wrestlers that he's with. Not to mention the odd Sammy Guevara turn again. He's a babyface again. It's not going to work. I don't know how many times we have to go through this. I don't care about his kid. I don't care that he's from Katy, Texas, where I grew up to. It's not going to work. And now with the Chris Jericho thing in the background, it's just going to be a constant distraction. So we won't be able to enjoy this. Won't be able to enjoy Big Bill botching with Chris Jericho in the ring. Another boring match. Julia Hart and Abaddon, they just had a bad match. It was 12 minutes. It went a little bit longer than the Riho Tony Storm thing. And, with... I just don't know why they thought it was a good idea to have these two very inexperienced women go out there on pay-per-view. It's putting these people in bad positions, and you have better women on this roster that are able to come through in better positions like this. But then again, we just saw Willow and Chris Statlander also lay an egg on the 0 Hour. Both women's titles caught up in spooky lore stuff. And with Mercedes Moné seemingly imminently coming into the promotion, they're going to have to change its division's perspective. Like, greatly. Otherwise, it's a waste of money, what do you do in situation. So, finally, got some energy on the show. Edge against Christian Cage. No DQ. Just simply brawling and having heat all around the arena. Well-structured. This was good. Nick Wayne getting botched through the table, the flaming table, and I was like, man, what of course the flames go out on the table when they still got to do their shit. It's just an allegory of the show, I guess, or illusionary representation, visual. Anyways. So Copeland wins the title from Christian Cage, disposing of Nick Wayne. Shayna even had the ref pulled out at one point in time. And then, this is where it lost me, is Killswitch comes out and kills him and cashes in his Battle Royal little contract for the TNT title. So I rolled my eyes hard. I was like, man, I just enjoyed this. You could have injured him and said, okay, Wednesday we're doing the rematch, and Mr. Copeland here has his ribs all taped up and shit, and then that's when you can do the exact same angle and do it on Wednesday Dynamite. And you can do it for like a 3-minute match, right? Instead of this 12-minute, just Christian hits him with a spear and then it's over. So yeah, Christian tells Killswitch to give him the contract, signs it. And they've opened up a can of worms with this shit now. It's a booking crutch. It's more cowardly booking. I get the story. I don't think they should have done that. You can still do the story and tell it in a different way rather than cop out Money in the Bank nonsense. So Eddie Kingston defeats Jon Moxley, disposes of the Blackpool Combat Club to complete the story, and he is the new fake Triple Crown champion with the Continental title, New Japan Strong title, and the ROH title. 17 minutes, hard-hitting. This fucking rocked. It's a full 3 match. Take me home, baby. Eddie Kingston spins, punches this guy in the face, falls on him. Bam, we're done. 4 stars flat, where I'm heading here. Liked it. And the Continental Classic, boy, I'm going to miss you. But now it's put up or shut up time, because without so much real estate taken up on your weekly TV shows for the Continental Classic, What are you going to do with the rest of the time? Is it still going to be sports presentation, buddy? Or is it going to be more MJF type stuff? Is it going to be more Timeless Tony? Put up or shut up time. And then Samoa Joe defeats MJF for the title in very odd fashion. I can't be the only one that thought watching this that the way it was structured and the way it was presented, it was going to be and end the same way as the Jay White match. And for a good portion of it until the ref bump, because I was just waiting for it. I was waiting for the ref bump. I could not get into the match at all, no matter what was done, because I'm like, this is the same thing I just watched last month with Jay White, in which I was just waiting for the Hulk Hogan moment, right? The no-sell on the power-up, come back, Lex Luger powering up for the torture rack situation. And in MJF's case, it's always the power-up, ref bump, and then the cheating with the weird drama with Adam Cole. Okay? So the ref bump happens, and I'm finally like, oh, okay, now I can pay attention. And the match very shortly ends after that, where Cole can't find the ring, Samoa Joe locks in a choke, and just chokes this motherfucker out. 1, 2, 3, the ref goes, oh, his hand went down for 3. Ring the bell. I'm just going, that was super flat. And when I thought of that, the only good feeling was Eddie Kingston winning the fake Triple Crown, completing his story and completing a good tournament that was extremely solid. And then everything else on the show was either boring, bad, to flat. I'm probably the odd man out on the Christian Cage, swerve switch, if you will. I am admitting the match was good, and I just didn't like the post angle and how that was handled because of the can of worms it opens. So Samoa Joe wins this thing, and he just calmly exits the ring. Adam Cole gets in, the goons hit, and then they do the switcheroo where he's in a chair and he's staring at him, and MJF is in tears, blah, blah, blah. They beat him up. Looks like MJF is going to be off TV for who knows how long. Cole is still with a broken ankle. I guess trying to be like his hero, Kota Ibushi. And I'm just thinking, all I felt was relief that we can move on from things, rather than excited for a world title change, excited for a pay-per-view to end, excited for TV to come, and I'm none of those things. The things I feel are worry that the Continental Classic was a blip in the radar, worry that the MJF Adam Cole stuff, that we waited so long for the reveal, that the reveal itself isn't the exciting part. It's now we can move on and we're over with this, right? Because this hasn't been good for so long. Not to mention the stuff with the women's division and the Chris Jericho stuff. There's so many just either relieving marks or question marks around so much of this promotion exiting this pay-per-view. And this is 2 in a row now with this promotion for me. And yes, I have enjoyed a good chunk of the TV over the last 6 to 7 weeks, right? But they put out this pay-per-view and things have got to change. They got to really, and I heard my man's over there, One Nation Radio, saying this is the first pay-per-view without any of the Elite on there, particularly the Young Bucks. And when you're not putting out your best talent on shows like this, and your creativity to put matches together is like a Road to show towards New Beginning, you're going to leave people underwhelmed. You left me underwhelmed and disappointed. That's what happened with AEW at the for World's End. 10,000 at Nassau. Good little show up there. And I guess we'll move on to hopefully bigger and better things from there. Joshi Pro Wrestling. Oh, what am I going to play? I know what I'm going to play. Here we go.
So I say exactly what's on my mind in a way that you can hear me. It's the same way every day and night. We gotta make a change. Ozaki's waiting for the next time.
Oz Academy, baby. Ozaki. December 30th. Cork Hall, their big year-end show. 888 people. Never underestimate the Oz Academy drawing and slight inflation numbers, but it's still better than the scene. I do want to mention before I go into Oz Academy and Seedling is Ice Ribbon ran Ribbon Mania. They got 502 to that promotion, 300 down from last year. Kaho and Ibuki went 25 minutes there, especially Kaho in particular. Not good enough to pull that kind of match off. And it's going to be an interesting year for Ice Ribbon with a lot of rookies and young people. They have nobody that can draw. And they end the year, even though their house show business was a little better than Pure J, they end the year last of the mainline promotions in how they were able to draw 300 plus people. So there'll be a full Joshi breakdown over on the Patreon episode coming out sometime in January, February. So look forward. So Ice Ribbon, a very poor year, no buzz to it at all, and they enter 2024 being sold to the new group, and Ibuki Hoshi is champion. So with Oz Academy, on the other hand, with no young people highlighting their show, there was a match that got around with people liking what was happening here, but I'll get to that. While in the undercard, it's Mayuki and Kekeru losing to Sanako Kato and Yoneyama. So there you go. Young people lose. Part 1. Akino is now a double champion. I don't know what they're doing with this Pioneer 3-way title thing. Match was whatever. It's Aoki and Bram Kaicho in a 3-way. What do you expect? Mesaruga and Honozono defeat Matsumoto and Zones. I actually kind of like this. This was alright. And then we got the Oz Academy Openweight title number 1 contender match. 6-man tag team survival showdown. It went 36 long minutes. And there was a lot of good wrestling in here as long as Tsubasa Kuragaki was involved. What happens is it's a long journey of a match with good wrestling in it. I know it looked good. Mizunami looked good. Rini Yamashita finally came out of the GCW coffin to come show up for this. But the bigger point is Kohaku and Miyamoto really got the show out here, more so than Kohaku ever has in Wave this particular year. And this ended up being one of the better Joshi Indie matches of 2023 and a good marker to end the year. And look, Miyamoto, crowd loves her, okay? But do we really expect she's going to defeat Akino for the Oz title? I don't know. I'm a little skeptical, okay, about that. And Akino has been a poor champion, okay? And I mean that from like the in-ring perspective where the woman can't go like she used to. She's very much grounded these days, and the matches I find are atrociously boring. So maybe Miyamoto can get a little action and energy out of Akino for the first time in years at this point in time. But a lot of people are like going 4 stars plus on this elimination survival match. I'm nowhere near that high. I'm more of like a 3.5, 3 3/4. The saving grace is certainly that the fact that Momono, Kohaku, and Ryu Mizunami really showed out in the match. Particularly Kohaku. I liked what I saw. And then Jaguar and Mayu Miyazaki defeat Team 200 kilogram, Chihiro and Yu, 18.5 minutes. Look, it wasn't good. We'll leave it at that. Quite bad. Seedling, the last battle with the very questionable results, I guess, of the Riku Kaiju drama situation. More scandals and Joshi happening around. It's so she announces she's retiring. And then, a week or so goes by. Oh, well, not retiring, but it's an indefinite, leave of absence. And it's like, man, she did something. Now, it's not, I don't think it's TJPW, Hikari Noah, possibly dating a superfan or something, and then texts getting leaked online, but she definitely did. Riku Kaiju for sure did something. There's no doubt in my mind. But this Seedling show, they got 670 at Cork and Hall. It's still not great. Still not a great number by any means, but better than some other groups for comparing, which we are. But I thought the undercard was quite bad. Yu and Aoki defeat Chi-Chi and Kagura. Ikuto, Hidaka, and Sugi have a double match with La Pedita and... that's right. They switched teams, and it was weird. Fuck it. I don't care. The 6-man tag was uncomfortable, and it was also very bad in parts. It's totally centered around Natsu Sumire and a very sexual act going on. 19 minutes this went. Mima Shimoda had very little to do in the match. Nagisu Nazaki and Veni tried to keep a lot of it together. Makoto and Maya Yukihi teamed with Sumire. Way too long, no heat, awkward in many places. All for a Natsu Sumire getting kicked down and rejected by her teammates thing, and everyone else leaves together and leaves. Is very strange. So did not enjoy that very much at all. Hiroyo Matsumoto and Ryo Mizunami against Arisa Nakajima and Dash Chisako. I actually very much enjoyed this match. It was super close to a 4-star. I liked this more than the main event, and I liked it more than the Oz Academy Survival Showdown match, which Mio Momono won. I thought this tag was what I want to see more of out of the Joshi Indies and wrestling in general, where you're putting on very high energy tags. Matsumoto and Nakajima look like they always have something to prove in there, and Mizunami and Chisako are very solid when they were in this. So this made me much happier when I was finished watching it, because it had been a struggle up to that point. So what does this lead when Matsumoto defeats Nakajima? I think it's leading towards, a normal promotion would have Matsumoto then next in line for a Sari defense. And is that the best option? I don't know. We kind of just saw that in Seedling a number of months ago. Or was that now over a year ago at this point with the Matsumoto Nakajima match? Because Nakajima got injured, then won the title back. Regardless, we've been through the motions with Hiroyo Matsumoto. Would I rather see like an Ozaki, a Veni, Makoto, Mayaki, someone fresh? I would. But not saying the Hiroyo match wouldn't be good, just I'd be more into someone else kind of getting that opportunity sooner rather than later. And then the BTS match. Sari defeats Ayami Sasamura, and Sasamura's gear, it just throws me off. It looks like she's wearing like pajama slippers. I don't get the look at all. She doesn't come across as a main event talent in any sort of way. She looks just so far below a main event level, even though her wrestling was pretty good to solid for what I like to see in this match in particular. Match went 18.5 minutes. It had, for sure, strong moments of trading blows. That was good, okay? But they definitely went to the well, that same well, multiple times, which kind of lost me, because it's like, okay, I know Sari can throw heavy forearms and beat some ass, but when we're on our like fourth iteration of it, I'm like, I kind of want to see some more suplexes, and that's where I realized that this is where Sari loses me in a lot of her matches, unlike the Nakajima match, where the variety simply isn't there for me with Sari, and Sasamura just doesn't have that experience to kind of pull a match higher. So that's where it lost me. Did Sari drop her on her head to finish it? Yes, she did. So that's, bonus points. But it's got a 787 on Cage Match, 14 votes. So more than Dragongate, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I'm like a 7 out of 10, 3.5 range. I don't think it's nearly as good as Sasamura's match from earlier in the year against Nakajima. I thought that had a lot more dynamics to it. It roped me in certainly more. And Sasamura's gear didn't throw me off. It's a weird thing to complain about, but that's where I'm at. So Sari came back to the scene. She didn't save the indies by any means. She simply ran her 2 produce shows and then popped a couple plus 500 houses at Korakuen for Seedling. I mean, if we're talking breaking people up into the 900, 1,000 range, then we're talking. But she hasn't done any of that. She sold out a couple Shinjuku faces and then did a Korakuen Hall show like this. Did she have a good comeback year? It was all right. She showed out in all of her matches. But besides, she just didn't have enough, is I guess where I'm leading with that. Okay, let's finish with Stardom. Here we go. Okay, I'm fighting through here. Stardom Year End Climax, only 765. Used to be way better numbers, but with the roster and how they're pumping out these cards lately, not very inspiring. So the 765 doesn't shock me. They definitely need to do a little bit more with enticing people to go to these shows. It is the holiday. I don't care what else is going on there. Maybe Stardom wants to move Year End Climax to a nice little building in Osaka or Hiroshima or whatever. Do they need a bigger presence there? I think that would help. Give outside Tokyo a nice little important show to have. But for the matter, more Joshi promotions should also do that. So it was a very basic mixture of cards or mixture of matches of tags, trios. There was a QQ Oedo Tai elimination match. Very typical stuff. Nothing to really break down or talk about there. I did like the Sai Kamitani Momo elimination at the end. The main match here is the trios match that previewed Dream Queendom, which was Megan Bayne pinning Julia, which really attributed a lot to the match that happened. It was Bayne Ano and Suzuki defeating DDM and Mirai. 21 minutes. I love this. Borderline, almost a 4-star. If I'm comparing it to the Seedling tag that I really enjoyed, and then the Survival Oz match, Mio Momono, I would say this match is on the level of the Survival match, and I still like that Seedling tag match a little bit more. What got me more invested is I knew that this had implications towards the future. And I thought Bayne pinning Julia was a phenomenal choice, right? And for all intents and purposes, it looks like Julia is leaving Stardom at some point in 2024. Okay? Probably for WWE. Don't recommend it, Julia, but hey, this roster will be fine without you. So it was a good preview tag. 2 out of 3, 3.5, 3 3/4 range. So we're very consistent here with the Joshi ratings. And I got to talk about Stardom New Blood 12. So we didn't go west. We're still in Tokyo. 254, so under 300. I like these New Blood shows. I like the rookies that came out and showed. Sayaka Kurihara against Kamitani was okay. Rana Yagami looked very interesting against Shuri. She has a good promise. We had Hina looking better against Mei Sarah. And then Chan Yoda's back, which is fun. Now, unfortunately, her and Mai Sakurai had to deal with Ruaka, which doesn't really end well for anyone, generally. But Rina looked good. And then look, I'm really into this Hanako Yuzuki team. Yuzuki definitely looks like a rookie that stands out. She's well ahead. Makes me wondering where someone like what's her name? Is it Ayako Sato? Is that who the rookie who's been injured out a while? And they announced another one, a small little pink-haired girl is going to be debuting. I think on like the 3rd. But Haruka Masaki, not Karma, very notable. Miyo Masaki won a little 10-minute match. And then Hanan and Saida had a nice little, I can't say it's a 1 out of 3, but I'm watching these shows not expecting more than 3 stars. And I didn't get that, but when you have a lot of young talent kind of on these shows and they're trying to show out, Nami Soray and Lady C, good in this position. Twin Towers, baby. Hanan and Saida, I enjoyed it. And then it takes us to Dream Queendom, 3063 at Ryogoku. A little down, 800 down. Expected. I was worried they were going to do a lot worse. I think they needed to do 3,000 plus for it to be a success, at least in my eyes. This more mirrors their 2022 number, so they've definitely regressed in the bigger show aspect. But considering I thought they were going to do worse, I think tells me that the fans also really got into Suzu Suzuki and Maika in this storyline, that they really developed and really hit home, and how they went to the same place where they were in this kind of makeshift, not official group for a while, meet in the 5-star finals, circumstances aside, that's how the dice rolled, and they built it over 6, 8, 9 weeks, right? Post 5-star. And all while all this like management turmoil is going on, they're still building these things. They're beating each other up backstage. This is what I wanted. I wanted heat, right? And I think they got to a respectable heat level. And we got the main event, and it felt big. It felt like the biggest Stardom match they've had in many, many months. You could probably go back to, would it be the Mina Shirakawa Natsupoi match in May? I mean, that's got to be it, right? Depending on how you feel about Tam Nakano and Mirai, but that was July. That was more when the promotion was kind of teetering down, which is why probably that match doesn't hit higher for others like it did me. But yeah, it's got to be the Mina Shirakawa Natsupoi match. Like, that was the last time a match felt like this important, and where you could look at it and go, either person could win. I'm into all this, and we go from there. I thought the undercard was strong. The rookie match was very enjoyable. We had some basic tags. Don't know what to make of Nanai Takahashi pinning Mina Shirakawa to end the year. Unfortunately, that's how Mina Shirakawa's year ends. Once she lost that Wonder title and the tag title thing was done, she was just absent from the promotion. She was going to Singapore. She was doing Taiwan. She's doing a lot of media, but when it came to the ring, she lost a lot. Doesn't have really a group to run. The group's injured. Like, it's a very unfortunate year end for Mina Shirakawa. Did she look good in the match? I thought she did. Nai looked terrible. She can't walk. She can't run. She doesn't sell. And nothing is bigger than Hetman's loyalty to this woman. So, hey, if it leads to a singles match and Mina pins that woman clean as a whistle in the ring, I will eat my hat on it, but something tells me that's not happening. I'm fearful of a 7-Up Aphrodite tag title match on the horizon because of this. Speaking of Aphrodite, against Oedo Tai, from this moment on, the show was getting to Stardom, and it almost got there to Stardom, show of the year contender, with how just strong these back 4 matches were. And the undercard was the undercard, and the midcard was decent and strong. I'm definitely more biased on this because I'm into the roster more, I'm into the promotion, so take that for what it's worth. But when it came to these back 4 matches, I thought they all delivered just super well. What was missing with the first Aphrodite match in which they won the titles was the flash finish that ended it. This match had great near falls. I thought Natsuko Tora looked the best she had all year in this. And hey, people were into that cage match. Tora's back, going for the Utami story. Oedo Tai not vanquished, but the ending scene where Kamitani and Utami both pin Momo and Tora really puts a nail in that coffin. I'm like, yes, that's the kind of ending I want to see. Saya Kamitani, I thought, looked phenomenal in this, and boy, if she's not in for a huge 2024, I'm about to call like booking malpractice here, because she just looks like the biggest star on the rise of this promotion. And you know, with Julia on her way out, you can end the Julia story with Kamitani kind of pinning her, and you go from there with Kamitani taking that slot that opens at the very tip top of the card, right? Tip top of the promotion. I think that's a good place. Do I want to see Aphrodite have these titles most of 2024? I do. I think, and I was more convinced now than ever, especially with the ending of this match, this is Beauty Pair Crush Gals 101 booking here. These two just are right there with each other. They complement each other so well. They got the connection with the audience. They have to run with this. They have to do something. I will not accept anything else. Julia and Megan Bayne. Julia makes this woman pass out 17 minutes. The false finishes were tremendous, and this was very much built off so much of Megan Bayne reaching another level of her game. And Julia brought it out with her. This was light years better than the Tam match, which I still enjoyed. It just didn't reach any high level. This did. The Megan Bayne pile driver was fucking sick. It got me off my feet. And Julia giving this woman a guillotine to make her pass out, I thought was great. Northern Lights bomb finishes. I mean, nothing's more simple than just kicking out of big moves in wrestling. Gets everyone. It got me. Yeah, and every match just kept getting better in my mind for this. So the tag match only has a 7.06. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of there as well. Maybe a little higher if we're doing decimal places. Do I think it's better than, we'll just continue the trend. Do I think it's better than the Oz survival match? No. Do I think it's better than the Seedling tag? No. The Year End Climax tag? Probably around that level. Yeah, why not? Julia Megan Bayne? I thought it was better than all those. So that's high praise there. Megan Bayne looks to be sticking around in this promotion a little longer, and that makes me very happy. I am going to miss this woman when she's out of Stardom, and then she can pitter-potter and fouter in AEW. Saori Anou, shockingly to me, wins the Wonder of Stardom title from Mirai. 24 minutes this match went. I love this. It had very much a different match structure, and this is what kept me into so many of these cards and matches. 8.2 on Cage Match, 101 votes. So Alex and Scott E in the mud with their low rating on this. I thought this was great. I love the slow build to it. Built up to a hot finish. Good near falls at the end. Mirai just runs those rope fast. Saori Anou was this the best match of her career? Ooh. Oh my god. Okay, let's go to Cage Match here. Let's see what we got. Match guide. Maybe not the best, but it'll give me an idea of what we're looking at here. Rating. Let's see. Well, now that I look at it, there's the 5-star match that's rated higher. And then from my own personal opinion, I think that's it. So, that's damn close. It is certainly better than Mayo Miyazaki, Saori Anou. That was just a fucking beating. That's all that was. No, the Mayo Miyazaki match was not better than this. That's kind of like the only match she was known for in her career, really, prior to coming into Stardom this year full time. And she's Wonder Champion, and I'm not upset with the move. I actually kind of like that. It does open up the same doors I think left over for the Wonder title with people like Mina Shirakawa, but her losing on this day doesn't like give me a lot of hope. But it certainly plays into the Natsupoi storyline that we can go into. And yeah, I think this was also a good time for Mirai to lose the title. I don't think she had a bad reign by any means. I think it was up to par for what Stardom can put out as a floor for a title reign. That it's acceptable. She had good defenses. There was a lull period, unfortunately, in there because of the long 5-star, among other things. With how Mirai got to winning the title, I think was more flubbed than her having it. And you know what? Let's go over some of her matches here. So she had it for 180 days. I really liked the Tam Nakano match. The Konami match was great. I did really enjoy that. The Momo match was also really good. I was higher on the 30-minute draw, and then we got this one. So we're looking at 5 total matches here, and maybe one of them didn't vibe with people at Gold Rush, which is totally acceptable. So 4 out of 5 good matches. I think the reign was good. I think it was really missing that Mina Shirakawa match. I think Mina going back for that title. Obviously, the direction they went with Micah couldn't do that. But if that was in the future, then that was a match we did also miss out on. But hey, Micah's now champion, and we got Sariano, and they can do a lot with that. Good match, 3 out of 3 rec from me. 4 4.25. I think there were certainly better 5-star Grand Prix matches. This isn't going to make my top 10 or anything, but it's still very enjoyable. What will make my top 10 is Micah defeats Suzu Suzuki 20 minutes, 39 seconds for the vacant title. Tam Nakano watching in the rafters like Sting in her Harry Potter gear, really wanting to go to Team Gryffindor. I know she does. She's in Team Ravenclaw, though. We know that. Harry Potter jokes. But Micah and Suzu Suzuki, I thought, won-upped their 5-star final match. And it really hit home for me that 2023 was the year of both these women. How Suzu Suzuki left Stardom, or left Ice Ribbon, entered Stardom to up her stock and just continue her rise through the women's rankings in general, right? Not including my own. While Micah, like her, Mirai, Mina Shirakawa, throw Saida and Hazuki in there, they remained healthy throughout the entire year on a tough schedule, tougher than most, put in full effort, and Micah got over, right? Mirai was the push candidate, right? Ida's not going to get pushed. Like, forget it, okay? And Hazuki got plenty of chances throughout the year, with some of the best matches of the year, including that Saya Kamatani match, and then in the background, Micah just pumping away, being a Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii type person, just being a workhorse all year, and just doing things that get her over, doing things in the ring that gets the crowd invested. I mean, I'll always go back to that delayed suplex spot, and her just giving the crowd something to ooh and ah at with all she was doing, and that was a consistency all year with Micah. And nothing was more clear when we got to the point of the 5-star, and people want to root for the underdog. And the underdog is Micah. You know, she's not the pushed commodity, right? She's a commodity, and she's been, I think she only lost like 2 direct, like big falls all year that stand out. One was Julia in the Generation Battle, and there was another one, but she did not take a lot of falls all year. She was protected in that sense, and the crowd got behind her, and this is such a good precedent for a promotion. Get yourself over, plans change, you're the one to step up, and you get rewarded, right? So Micah enters 2024 as the champion, and look at me, guys, Cloud9, I have supported someone that has won a main title in a promotion. Whoa! This is like a first in a decade. I can't believe it. So I'm very happy as a fan, and I truly went into this match thinking there was not a wrong decision here. And for Micah to bust out the concussion bomb, the headbutt, calling back to the Himika match. Look, she was in a retirement match that meant a lot to people, and I think that was a big turning point where people sympathized with her kind of losing her friend, essentially, so to say. 3 Michinoku drivers later, she pins Suzu Suzuki, and it's now the opposite shot of how the 5-star ended. And I like the story, I like the feud, I like the rivalry. It's my women's feud of the year, is Mike and Suzu Suzuki. And lesson to everyone, do not make your year-end list until the year is actually over. Do not do like an early December thing or mid-December. You have to wait, like, especially if you cover women's wrestling and Joshi. Like, there's just too many shows that end the year, at the end of the year, that are important to the calendar for what we do. Okay? Full 3, 4.5. You put that in with their 5-star final match, which really bumps it up now in my mind. I have rewatched all of my kind of top 10 candidates. This is high up there. Like, it really accomplishes everything you want in pro wrestling. And now with Micah's gonna, so this is now where we're leading into. We have a one-night triangle derby. We got the Shuri Mayu match for Stardom Gate Gen 4. And now we have the underdog as champion, no longer chasing. Okay? Sometimes the tortured babyface always doing the chase is where it's at. Is Micah going to be like Amina Shirakawa? I guess we'll see. I mean, she's calling out both titles like Mina Shirakawa. She's calling out Julia and Utami, to name a couple, over who she wants to face. I mean, there's a lot of legs to this title reign and a lot of callbacks. And boy, would it be quite the story for like Utami in March to get the main event call. And I mean, that was one of my favorite matches of the year, was their 5-star encounter. And just imagine Utami like taking this title from Micah. Micah still can't beat that woman. And god damn it, it would be heartbreaking, but I'd be like, I'm in. I'm still in. You can give me Saori Aono defending against Mina, and Mina loses. Oh, the torture it would be. Tremendous, I think, year, and starting off 2024 on a positive note. So CMLL and Stardom they look to be my main 2 things I'll be reviewing and paying attention to as 2024 starts, along with my incessant stubbornness with AEW and American wrestling, but here we are. Okay. Enjoy the drunkenness that follows.
Wow, look at all those stars.
You know, I've read that starlight gives you cancer. But then again, what doesn't these days,
Listen, kid, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. It's not easy for me to say.
Oh, God, you're not coming out of the closet, are you? Oh, God, why does everyone always come out to me?
I just wanted to thank you for everything you did today. I know this whole trip has been a mess.
Well, it hasn't been all bad. I must admit there have been some moments that were, dare I say, fun.
We're off on the road to Rhode Island. We're having the time of our lives.
Take it, dog.
We're quite a pair of partners, just like Thelma and Louise. Except you're not 6 feet tall.
Yes, and your breasts don't reach your knees.
Give it time.
We're off on the road to Rhode Island. We're certainly going in style.
I'm with an intellectual who craps inside his pants.
How dare you? At least I don't leave urine stains on all the household plants.
Oh, pee jokes.
We've traveled a bit and we found.
All right, enough of that. Okay, so Rickee,
Yeah.
you guys came out to watch me bowl on a Thursday night, randomly,
Yep.
in 2023, off on a road to Rhode Island.
And guess what happened, folks? JD bowled a fucking perfect game. 300. Last game of the night. League bowling.
Cheers.
Damn right I did. Perfect game, baby.
So, you're hearing a third voice. My partner Jason is here in the room with us. We are in the actual same physical room right now. Jason and I came out to the East Coast to celebrate the holidays with my family and made it a point to come see JD. And like you said, happened to just visit for bowling. And he, just casually bowled a perfect game, Happens all the time.
Happens all the time. Third time in my life. Here we go. Bowled it with a 20-year-old ball. And look.
He was wearing a Makihito jersey. It was perfect.
Look,
He was also drunk as balls. I don't know if you can hear that right now, but it will become more clear as the episode goes on.
I plan to sober up as it keeps going. This is
Yeah.
Jason, by the way.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
phenomenal time. It was, look, I haven't been bowling too well in this league, and pulled the sucker out early, and look, end up throwing a 300 with you guys.
Yeah, it was not looking good earlier in the evening
It
either.
really was
The
not.
first two games were mediocre at best
Well,
for your skill level.
yeah, but the thing was, I was there.
Yeah.
I was certainly there, but it wasn't looking good. And then all of a sudden, it was looking good.
It just clicked. It just clicked. And he couldn't stop telling people how wasted he was when it happened.
Well, I got to the ninth frame. Look. I got to the ninth frame, and it's just, everyone's going, look how good you're bowling. It's like, I'm so wasted. Like, are you kidding me? I've handed my keys off 3 frames ago. To you.
Yeah. I got us back to JD's house after bowling. And Jason will get himself and I home later.
Right, and he had spilled many much alcohol in front.
Many much?
Yeah.
See, folks, it is not.
I ruined a team member's coat.
It didn't ruin it. It was a beer. It's fine. It was like a Carhartt jacket. Like, it's meant to get dirty. Whatever. But then JD steps in the beer in his bowling shoes, ruining the bottoms.
Well, he goes, you just stepped in the beer. And I go, yes, I have.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
All right. Scrape.
Yep.
All right, let's try. Hey,
Perfect game.
perfect game.
It happened, man. It was so exciting.
I have done it. You guys have seen it live. It is not a farce. This goddamn podcaster.
There's photographic and video evidence on
There's
Twitter.
constant video evidence that I am a good bowler, damn it.
You'll see the heartbreak as the team undersells the performance.
Oh my God.
Nobody says shit.
They're so annoyed because I am constantly annoyed myself. All right. So, AEW.
Oh yeah,
Here
that's
we go.
a thing.
All right. Rum. Ricky, you want anything?
I have rum.
You have rum?
Yeah, I brought a Diet Pepsi
Jason,
home
you
from
got
the-
rum?
I got water.
You got water.
Sobering up, my friend.
Sobering up for the drive. All right. Well, I got straight rum. Where's the rum? The rum is right here. It will never go away.
The
I
rum
love
is
the
not
rum.
Gone.
The rum is not gone. What'd you guys think of the C2?
So fun. Definitely restored the feeling. That's the catchphrase, right? Restore the feeling. There were no really crazy blow away, I'm gonna show my friend who's not a wrestling fan type matches, but they were all solid. Some better than others, but all solid. Enjoyed the whole thing.
Oh man, we disagree. One of those is my top 10 of the year.
Whoa, okay. Well, we'll get to that.
Mm.
Um
Actually, I want to hear.
Okay.
What was it?
Legit,
that final match with Mox, the three-way, Swerve, and Jay Lethal, not Jay Lethal, holy crap, sorry, I've been drinking.
White.
Jay White.
I understand. I did bowl a 300.
He rolled a 300. We hit him up, I'm going to tell you
When
right
you
now,
see a friend bowl a perfect game, you just have to be like, oh my god, I have to drink
I'm gonna tell
my
you,
spirit away.
there hit a point where I'm like, dude, you need to start sipping because you keep hitting strikes.
Like, maintain.
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 Not a word, it was maintain. So, unfortunately, I maintained with him. But honestly, with the three, commentary kind of sucked in the beginning of that match because they themselves didn't know the rules, which is the thing that drives me insane. Unless it's Excalibur telling me this is the rule, I go crazy when they're like, the ref is doing this, because it's not true in this case. However, that match was the best match in the C2, that three-way.
You think so?
I honestly do think AEW brings three-ways that nobody else in the business does. There's always action, there's never a slow moment, and it's not one-on-one while another person sits out of the ring a lot of times. There's immediately, I'm going to move to this guy, and AEW has perfected that over 4 years. No other company touches them in that. I got another one on my top 14 because I'm bad at top 10s. In fact, I think it's 15.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So we got the AEW C2 coming into play here for the end of the year. Which, look, forgive me and everyone else, but look, we've been bitching about this company for 6 months now.
Mm-hmm.
The C2 has been a savior of this company.
Absolutely.
The magic's back.
Feeling restored.
Right. It feels like that. What needs to happen is the follow-up.
Mhm.
Right. And I've said this with Swerve. If he's not going to win this,
Right.
he's got to have the follow-up.
Yep.
So at World's End,
Mhm.
which is the very next show,
This Saturday,
as we record, he's against Keith Lee.
finally.
All right. Okay. The guy needs to win, and the guy needs to challenge for the title.
Yep.
I don't care. Personally, I don't care who's champion.
Nope.
Could be Samoa Joe, could be MJF. The most important thing for this company, for me as a fan, that's important to distinguish right now. Me as a fan needs Swerve to take the next step into whether it's beating MJF or Samoa Joe.
Yep. And I think we mentioned that on the last episode, that we didn't want him to win this tournament because we wanted him in the main title scene. So, yeah, I think so as we record, we only know who is going to be in the finals. It's going to be Moxley versus Danielson in the finals.
No.
Eddie Kingston. Yeah.
Moxley versus
Holy
Eddie.
moly. Sorry, we watched that
The
real late
better
last
match.
night. Yeah. Moxley versus Eddie, which obviously has drama just baked right in.
He called him, I'm your senpai.
Yeah, he sure did.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I'm ecstatic for that match.
Yeah. But yeah, Swerve, as much as I love him and love to root for him, in that particular match, I did not want him to win because of what we said.
Right. There is a circumstance in wrestling, Japanese or American and the like, where we reach an impasse where we feel that while we're watching people wrestle and make their wins, that there comes a time where, as I move my drink over, it's very important. I'll put it this way. In Stardom, women's wrestling, that's where this podcast flourishes. There's a lot of Stardom and women's wrestling fans that see themselves in Micah, winning that title at the end of the year against Suzu Suzuki. Suzu Suzuki. My God.
You got there in the end.
It's a tough name.
It is. It is.
She is the prodigy of wrestling. Prodigy of women's wrestling. Before this time, as everyone hits the microphone around,
maybe us being in the same room was not a great idea.
no, it's fine.
Look, I'm the one who caused the
I
problem.
told you I would have brought my microphone.
No,
Nah, don't bring it.
Everyone's got their mic, don't worry. It's all in the setup. Who hits, who doesn't, right? Okay, so Suzu is the prodigy that is supposed to win. Micah is the workhorse who's not, right? So if you look at that, you know what? I fucking lost it all.
You lost your train of thought?
Lost
no
it all.
idea what your
No
point
idea. Lost it all. All I know is I want
Have another
rum.
drink.
Yeah.
Boom, cheers.
Fucking
buddy.
rum. Let's
Fucking
go.
300.
Yeah.
300.
300.
Doesn't matter what the fuck happens.
All right. Women's matches. What'd you like, guys?
Wait, are we done talking about the C2?
Yeah, let's forget it.
I do wanna say-
C2. So look, C2 was awesome. I didn't like the three-way. I liked the three-way match.
Yeah.
I didn't like the
That it went to a three-way? I think
well-
I would have been okay if like, because if it was an actual sporting league, like sports league, professional league, I feel like instead, so they had established that the top two would go on to a semifinal. I think if it had been an actual league like the NHL or the NBA, what would have happened was if there was a tie between three, the two that had the wins over each other or something like that would have gone on and it would have been a two-way match. I understand it going to three because wrestling, and we, like Jason said, AW has perfected the three-way. I don't disagree with that point. That's actually a really great point. And I think JD and I have talked about it too. I love a three-way AEW match, but in a tournament, I would have preferred it to be one-on-one when that's what they had established would happen.
Okay.
That said, it was still a fucking great match.
That sounds like a sober response. So what is the drunken response to what's going on with 2024? Because I certainly am not capable. Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not capable of what? What are you not capable? I mean, right now you're not capable of a coherent thought. So I need to know where this is going.
I mean, this is fact. Was I coherent of a perfect game earlier? Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, I was.
You earned every drop of rum that you're sipping right now. Let me
my
just
God.
tell you, buddy.
There's so much rum that is earned with it. Look. Oh,
Yeah,
plop that down on the table.
that was fucking loud.
Yeah, on purpose.
I know.
Look. Beforehand, it was rum, no chance. Beforehand, with this night, it was rum handicap match. I am ready for the 300.
I have no idea what you just said.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it was a 300 game.
So, listeners, Jason is sitting here listening to
Sure.
me and JD for the first time on this show. Jason chooses not to listen to the podcast basically because he hears me talk enough at home.
Oh, okay.
True.
Fair.
Love
That's
her to death.
absolutely fair.
So, now granted, he was with us all night, so he
I mean,
understands our chemistry.
He knows
but-
the chemistry at this point.
Yeah.
Well, okay, hold on. Jason.
Yes. He's holding court, folks.
Gabble.
You've seen the chemistry come in full circle. What chemistry
I'm listening.
did you see tonight on December at the end of 2023?
Wait.
What, tonight? Well,
Yeah, tonight.
Tonight we rolled a 300.
Well, he needs to lean into the microphone and say it for the audience.
JD.
Lean the fuck in. I need you to stand up.
JD bowled a 300 tonight, folks. A 300 tonight.
All right.
And that is Jason's NPR voice.
All right.
You are listening to Fresh Air with Jason.
All right.
Thank you
So-
for listening to JD. 300 man. 300.
300 man.
All right.
So Jason here has admitted I am a perfect man for those ladies out there.
What?
Yeah.
Who said that?
I
He said
did call him Mr. Perfect in the car. That's my fault.
He said Mr. Perfect.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did also say you were going to throw his bowling team under the bus. So
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
hear about that.
Fuck those fuckers. What I mean by that is not one celebrated when he did the 300. No.
Okay.
Check your video. Me and
That didn't
you,
happen. that
me and
didn't
you
happen.
go a little bit like, oh shit, he did it. The rest of the team, every game, he's done it 3 times, folks.
In over 20 years of bowling, 3 perfect games. So this is
20 years. I'm
I
sorry.
said over 20.
Whoa! The mic has been hit.
I'm
Oh!
honest.
I said over 20.
Sorry, is it okay?
Yeah.
It seems all right.
Yeah. I said over 20. Jason has gigantic feet and he can't control them.
Gigantic balls, you mean?
No,
it's
just his feet. Anyway.
Everything else was normal, just the feet.
Just the feet.
It's all proportional, folks.
No.
Except for the feet. Jason's 5'10" and wears a size 12 shoe. I don't understand it.
Definitely the
12
feet.
and a half.
I got short and a little bit legs.
I don't even want to say we've gone off the rails because I'm not sure we were on them to begin with. Let's talk about Jason's favorite matches of the year.
Oh. All right, Jason.
All right.
You and your short feet.
In no particular order, Jason put together 10 to 15 matches.
10 to 15 inches of matches. Here we go.
Really?
Finally broke. Yes.
Yes,
It happened.
I just laughed so hard that I
Here
snorted.
we go.
I feel like I've snorted before on this podcast.
No.
It's infrequent. Listeners, go back and tell me if I've snorted
Phenomenal
before.
that it happened. All right. So, Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So, as I put this, the random not top 10 semi-remembered greatness
All right.
of
Okay.
2023.
RLR.
Caveat, Jason and I mean, everybody knows, anybody who's listened to us knows that Jason and I didn't watch a ton of New Japan this
Oh.
year. You know, we watched the G1 and we
hold
watched
on.
Wrestle
I
Kingdom.
can talk a little bit about New Japan.
No, I said we didn't watch a
I
ton
know.
of it. Oh my.
Sonata sucks as the champion.
No!
He does. I'm sorry. It's Evil 2.0.
He
It's
does.
the same
He
boring
does.
shit. Evil 2.0.
Kind of does.
Both of them failed in the role of top champion. Straight up.
You failed in the role of top
I'm not wrong.
You failed.
So is your
You
face.
have my chili.
I don't understand that reference.
I had some spicy chili.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you know what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Chili?
yeah,
Is this a reference to something?
yeah.
What?
To the chili that I make, which is oh no,
Or
I
something.
had
No.
idea.
all right. What are your fucking
Okay, Jason, what are your fucking
what are your
matches?
fucking matches?
All right, so first match I want to talk about is the Like a Dragon street fight.
Ah,
What's
bullshit.
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 Wait, what?
Bullshit.
Wait,
I think that was one of the best matches of the year.
I don't even. Wait, hang on.
Why?
Stop. I don't even remember what this is. Who was in this match?
Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, a bunch of people from.
Oh, yeah.
It was the Sega tie-in.
This is the second time, which means that I need more drink.
Yeah.
So you guys keep talking. What do you want?
Put more Captain Morgan in there.
Oh, that sounds great.
Thanks.
Water.
I'm not giving you shit.
Water.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jason's gonna tell us why we should like this sponsored match.
Like a dragon? Like, I like the video games,
Yeah.
but the fucking match wasn't that good.
And that's exactly why the match was the best sponsored match you've ever seen.
Wait, better than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match?
Yes. Oh.
That was a joke. That was.
Yes.
Although I
they were
did
better.
enjoy it.
Honestly.
Just give me the Captain Morgan. Just grab it. I'll do it.
Oh my god. You'll
Oh
do
my
it?
God, yes.
Oh my god.
Just give me the fucking bottle.
I will give you the fucking Captain Morgan. Here you go.
Give it to me. Jason, tell us about this match.
So, I'm just going to be honest with you. They had a bicycle
Don't
spot.
be honest. What? Why?
Why?
Why you gotta be honest?
Okay, I'm going to lie.
I
to you.
bowled a 300
I
tonight.
bowled 300, but the man has one gear and it's 300.
The gear that has.
Put that on the table before you drop it, please.
But it's
I'm gonna
really-
I'm gonna be the mom in the room. Can you please put that on the table?
Why do you gotta be a mom?
Because
Someone
that's
has
just yeah. I have 2 dogs that I parent, and I need.
I'm a cat that's afraid of sound.
Oh, by
All
the
right.
way, wait. I need to know
Okay.
how many of your listeners knew you had a ferret. Because I didn't know you had a ferret. I knew you had
I
a
mean-
cat. You talk about the cat all the time.
I mean,
You'd
there's-
never
There's
mentioned to me
there's
before.
a couple.
You had never mentioned to me
There's
before that you had a
definitely
ferret.
couple.
And then we're sitting in the house, and I'm like, "What is that noise?" And he goes, "Oh, it's the ferret."
The ferret.
What? What is the
Yeah.
ferret's name? Does the ferret have a name?
The ferret.
Fucking. Oh my god! This is why I hate you. Dear Lord, the cat's name is Sid, right?
The cat name is Sid.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, Jason's gonna tell us
Would
why
it-
this
would
match
it-
is redeeming.
Would it disappoint you if I said the ferret's name was also Sid?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
It was way funnier that the ferret didn't have a name. But like,
it's also
but
the same, but
but like my best friend growing up had this girl that I've known since I was 5. I don't know what to set JD
It's
off
also
right now. This is all lost on me now.
Oh no. Okay.
No, but my best friend growing up, this girl that I've known since I was 5. When I met her,
Of course.
when I was 5, she had this little Maltese dog named Sam.
Yeah.
And then that dog died, and they got another Maltese dog, and they named it Sam. And then that dog died, and they got another Maltese dog, and they named it Sam. So, I get
You
it.
do it all the time.
Sounds traumatic.
Jason, let's move on from the Like a Dragon match unless there's specific points you want to make.
Best sponsored match in 30 years. Proves to me sponsored matches can work.
Oh my god.
That's
Can.
fair. That's fair, but
Can.
it doesn't make it a best match of the year.
I want it every year. That match was fucking awesome.
It was really fun. It was really, really...
Kawabushi spun a bicycle around and we're acting like this isn't a cool thing. He smashed somebody on a bicycle.
Yeah, that's great.
It's the greatest match I've seen on Dynamite until some of these other matches I'm going to talk about.
Shit, I gotta edit tomorrow.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. What's next?
I also put down House of Black versus the Elite Revolution.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
fucking
sure.
great.
Yeah.
Is that was that a ladder match?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucking great.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think anybody's gonna.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's gonna be mad at you for that one.
And if you are, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Once again,
It's like, hey, wait a minute. We're at the bar 2 blocks down. Excuse me?
We are not at the bar 2 blocks down. We're sitting here in your basement and we're recording.
300! Woo!
It's Pavlovian at this point.
Look! It happened.
I know, and I'm so proud of you.
It happened.
We are so
Like, are you... Look.
we are so grateful that we were there to witness it,
Wait,
and we're so
are you-
happy to celebrate
Look,
with you.
Hey, wait
But
a minute. Wait.
There is a task at hand.
Wait. Wait. Hold on.
Oh, you just it came back around. That was JD's snorting.
What's this? This is my...
That's a lot of liquor, is what that is. But he hardly knows her. Wait, I still don't understand why you're so opposed to video podcasts, because this would be fucking hilarious. We should stream this live, honestly. We should just go live on YouTube right now. Folks, JD would prefer to remain an enigma, which is why he doesn't want to do video podcasts.
300!
Alright, I'm gonna slam this button.
No.
No,
Look, you just hit the microphone.
You
No,
hit the mic.
Oh my god, take that away. No, just put it on the table, it's gonna fall.
Oh no! Oh, what about...
Oh no, Ricky's being the mom again. Oh no. Jason, what's next on your list? Wait, what did we just talk about?
You fucking guys suck.
I'm trying to keep us
Oh, no.
focused.
She's doing the best job.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
I have been mediating between these two all night.
I'm sobering up.
It has just been them shouting at me from either side.
The grim reality is happening while I'm sobering up. This is
Oh
fun.
no! All right.
So
Alright.
my last match was House of Black versus.
Oh, right,
Elite.
right.
Oh, sure it
Revolution.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Your last match.
Woo, what's my on his list?
It was on my list of 14 10
Oh,
Okay.
God, it's so loud
I have
here.
to yell at the mic.
I know, it's so
Oh.
loud. What's next?
Daniel Bryan versus Zack Sabre, Wrestle Dream.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic,
sure.
Of course. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Done.
11.
Yeah,
what's
I
your best match?
Yep, there's not even... Fuck
And, you know,
yourself.
See, mine's not an order, sir, but I do have a best match.
I only work in perfect games.
My best match, because JD asked for it.
Oh, like you actually have a top favorite?
I have one top favorite match this
Oh
year.
no!
Save it.
Okay.
Keep going.
The 4-way pillar match, which is controversial, but is one of my top
yeah.
matches.
Oh yeah,
No.
sure.
Yeah.
That's respectable. Understandable.
I get why people don't like it, but I loved it. It showed me everything I need to know from that match.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, those four, the company is great hands with those four. I would like to see, I'm so happy Darby showed back up on Dynamite this week. And Sammy's back.
I'm so glad someone showed up for work.
I mean, he didn't die on Mount Everest.
It's
so-
true.
Right? Isn't that why he took off? Did
Yeah.
he do Mount Everest?
I mean,
Did he do it?
Yeah, sure.
Did he do it?
Maybe.
We gotta Google it. Or
Yeah.
Instagram. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
I'm sure it's on Instagram. Like, I don't know. That's
I
where
don't
people would
know.
post that kind of thing, right?
Sure.
Does Darby have any social media?
I don't. He used to.
Priscilla did, or not Priscilla. Who was his ex-wife?
Priscilla Kelly.
Yeah, Priscilla Kelly. She has had social media when they were together and they would post, but I don't know if he does. Anyway,
Next match. On my top greatness, whatever.
Yeah.
Omega versus Ospreay, Forbidden Door. I went for the second match, not the first.
interesting. Okay. I mean, I thought they were both phenomenal. I mean, when you start the year on a high, like Ospreay Omega 1, and you think it could never again reach that height, the fact that they did it again, possibly better, is just insane.
That whole Wrestle Dream, I was blown away every single time I watched the match. Like,
That's the one we watched at Dave & Buster's
We
with
did.
Derek, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that was it was a really fun atmosphere that I'm not sure we would do again, but I'm glad we experienced it once. We've experienced every
I mean,
arena
why
version
would you
and out
experience outside TV when
What? Okay, so Jason and I have tried to do every viewing experience of AEW that's not in arena. We've done obviously plenty in the arenas, but we've watched from home. We've done the movie theater experience. We've now done the Dave and Buster's experience. JD is fucking losing it. I think the only experience that we haven't done is the Tom's Watch Bar, and there is one.
No, you
There is one in Denver that we plan on.
no, you have done a
What? What have we done?
perfect.
He got a 300, folks. He got a 300.
All right. JD's out of this. Jason, keep the content coming. Come on. What's next on your list?
That's the one. It's
My debut is never going out, folks.
This podcast episode is lost to time because JD's gonna edit it so far down that you're not even gonna hear it.